is the key to the kingdom and queendom of heaven, earth.
Aloha, beautiful soul. Cora Flora here. And today I'm feeling inspired to do a podcast. It has been a while. I just haven't been feeling it. And today, for some reason, my cup runneth over with inspiration and mana and love and connection that I feel like crystallizing it into some verbal flow here, some verbiage, some verditas, if you will, as I'm walking by a lot of beautiful green stuff. But yeah, so instead of just mumbling and saying random stuff, which I also do enjoy, for those of us who have the gift of gab, isn't it so fun to just, as my friend Liza likes to say, poetically wax on things. I love that. But yeah, my intention today is to flow a bit of a life update, but more so focusing on some of the inspiration that's flowing through. Today I was going through some content from a course by Amanda Frances, who is one of my biggest inspirations, and it got me vibed up. I don't know why, and I think I was just really tuning into that divine connection and the realm of possibilities when it comes to money, when it comes to manifesting, when it comes to mana. And that's the thing. So as I was poetically waxing, if you will, and what I love about poetry is it's basically as accurately and, as specifically as possible using the art of language to describe an energetic or a consciousness or a, whatever it is, and just, illuminating it with some kind of description. And I've found for me that when I really do focus on authenticity, it's that's when the magic happens. That's when all of a sudden I'm I didn't even know I knew that word, but okay. And especially when I'm also praying and opening up to higher, greater consciousness, which I do feel that authenticity naturally does. As we're unraveling just the truth, eventually we come down to the deepest truth, right? That we're all divine, God source, that core energy, the Cora Flora, if you will. Oh my goodness. Did I? Okay. That double slip there. So lately, okay, I'm gonna come back to the poetry and my journal stuff, but lately I've also been learning a lot about branding, about building communities, about just creating something that is bigger than me. And that, again, bringing it down to deeper authenticity. It's I think the more that we get down to that truth, the more that we also go through our human stuff and our healing and the pain and the challenges and the dark stuff, we find purpose, we find passion, we find more gifts that we can give, more presence to give to this world. And lately I've been just considering Cora Flora as a musical name, which it's been for years. But I've been stepping into this energy of whoa, this is about more than just me. This is potentially an energy, a higher archetype. One could say it's not archetype, oversoul, really tuning into the greater mission of my soul, my music, my purpose, to a place where it's could even be seen from the perspective of a brand, or a flavor of creation, a family, a team, if you will, a collective purpose and energy. So anyways, yeah, so just, I've been thinking what does Cora Flora mean to me? Because obviously my birth name was different. And I go by, legally, my name is Queen Cora Flora, because I wanted to have, well, honestly, it's because I had the option of 3 names with the Canadian government. And I was why don't I just add Queen and see if they'll approve it? And they did. So, but it's nice because then it does bring some degree of differentiation, because I am human. I'm the human who's navigating and flowing and being a conduit for the divine, and just again, just steering the ship in a way, but because the energy does require a human to be creating the music and doing the things and all that stuff. But lately, more and more, I'm tuning into a greater energy and a greater purpose to it. When I think of what I would love to bring to this world in terms of medicine, in terms of a movement or a collective energy or a theme, authenticity, connecting deep within to our souls, to our source, and then blooming heaven on earth more and more and more from that space. And that's what Cora Flora means to me, even though it also has many other dimensions, like Cora makes me think of the heart, and Cora makes me think of the maiden Persephone, like that heroine, super heroine's journey, and into the underworld to heal and then become the queen of the darkness that undertook her, and then blossoming from that space. And Flora, for me, is a past life name, where I was a mystical bard, just saying, but take it with a grain of salt. But that's what I felt and have connected to. But it's also a greater goddess. It's also Flora at large. It's also the earth. And yeah, these themes are really interesting for me right now, and I hope you're enjoying this. I'm literally just flowing, and it's feeling really good, and I've prayed for, spirit to flow through whatever serves my highest good, the highest good of all, and it's feeling really good. So I'm just going to keep going and not try to make the podcast too instructional. It can also be art, because deep down I am a divine artist. I do feel like I'm here to just not necessarily always know what I'm doing, but to just flow and let myself be flowed and flowered and flourishing. And yeah, I have a song about that. Speaking of which, if you're interested, go to my Spotify, look up Cora Flora, and you'll see, actually, okay, so back on the note on branding, I felt guided to change it to all caps with spaces in between. So in a way, it's like stepping into this, or allowing, and really just like opening up to share this greater energy, this this gloriousness of caps, power, but also the space where it's like, it's beyond me. It's like something greater is flowing through, and I'm here to create a very strong structure for that to be supported, and to support and inspire, heal, bless as many people as I can, and this energy can, because also I feel like it's becoming more of a team. It's not just me, and in a way I feel like, especially through the last Mercury retrograde and the transits the last couple of weeks and all the eclipses, as a little human down here on Earth, I don't always know what's going on, but I do my best to tune into the higher guidance when I feel inspired to, and usually I find it's very helpful. Even, for example, I was feeling not too long ago a lot of Chiron energy, a lot of wounded healer, having to go back and look at my shit kind of vibe, and I was like, is there something going on with Chiron? And I checked my Time Passages app, and I was like, oh yeah, yep, conjunct the sun, conjunct Mercury, okay, yeah, this is important, this is relevant. All right, flow with it. I also, on that note, I also learned that Chiron is also connected to the energy of the shaman. And I had a good conversation with a friend recently, and we were just talking about how, it makes sense, because a lot of the times those who have wounded healer energy, they're doing their work, they're going into their pain, they're bringing the love and the healing and the wisdom to illuminate it and transform it, alchemize it. Often those people who have so much challenge are the ones who are also so courageous to go find the jewels and the medicine and the answers in the dark. If it means going into the spirit world, or tuning into some deeper aspect of themselves or their medicine to share and help other people. Sometimes my I don't know, language gets a little whatever, and yeah, anyways, I do have a bit of a French consciousness sometimes, from past lives and ancestry, so sometimes my S's and the way I pronounce things is a bit different. Anyways, back to the point here, which is Cora Flora as a collective energy. I'm talking about authenticity, poetry, being a divine artist. Trying to circle back to my point here. How about I'll circle back to journaling this morning. So again, I've been going through this Amanda Frances course, which is awesome because I feel like she's a leader who has mastered areas of life that I so want to master. And I've had little glimmers of moments of inspiration and magical manifestations that have given me enough hope and faith and trust in something greater than just working a 9-to-5 job and being a cog in the machine, even though I'm not judging. I feel like it's beautiful for everyone to be of service in whatever way they feel called. But the truth is that so many people feel enslaved in this matrix type reality. There's so many people who just operate with the beliefs that, okay, I just have to do this shitty job to make, 15 bucks an hour, whatever it is, and, work hard, sacrifice myself, be miserable to just make it on this earth, and whatever beliefs they are. And I feel like that's an example of something that's dire, but also kind of common. And it's also, there's so much in this. There's such a variety of experiences. And really, it's not my place to judge what any other soul is choosing to experience in this reality. Because on some level, I feel there is a degree of, there is a divine orchestration to things. And so I'm not here to judge anything as good or bad, good or bad, or better or worse. Truly, it comes down to it is just like choice, and we all have sovereignty and power and free will in this reality. So I'll bring that back to my own personal example, so that I'm not trying to take on the world, but like just be a leader that can hopefully inspire others, like in the same way that Amanda Frances is inspiring me. Is so back to my experience of like having the glimmers myself before I even found her, or other people who were kind of teaching. And actually, an interesting thing is I found her after I felt guided to create an online course called Magical Money Making, which is, it's just like something that flowed through. And the truth is, though, over the years, I've been looking back on my experiences, and I've realized that like I've been wanting to crack the code and find the like liberating magic, the healing juice to live awesome heaven on earth when it comes to money also, for years. Like, even as I said, so in the past few weeks it's been Mercury retrograde, and I've been guided to like go back and look at all my YouTube videos and make them public again, and organize them and title them and tag them properly. But honestly too, it was like just really healing just to like go. And I mean, sometimes it's so fucking cringe, and like anyone who puts themselves out there, video, sound, like pictures, even like sometimes, like, what I'm saying, cringe. But I was just like, I'm just gonna love through the cringe. And I just felt guided to put it out there, because I just thought, who am I to judge if this could help somebody or not? And I felt like I just wanted to put it out there, and just like, and then as I was doing that, I was like, a lot of this shit's kind of good. Like, even though sometimes I'm just like, blinded by the cringe feeling, or I don't know if blinded is the right word, but just like, but once I see with the eyes of love, and I actually like just like open-mindedly appreciate this science experiment of a lifetime that I'm in with 4S. And yeah, it's been really interesting. And even one of my first videos that I didn't delete, because honestly there was many before that, but for some reason I deleted some of them in a cringe moment. And whatever, I love myself, but like whatever. But there's still some left, so I'm planning on just keeping them up and building on the foundation that I've created. But one of my first videos that I left on there was me and Maui, cute like 20-something Cora, like really round face, like fresh little locks, just adorable. And I love her. And she was talking about like traveling on Maui and mana and life force energy and living without money, because on that trip I remember I had just kind of jumped into the universe, and I wanted to like just go and live in the flow. And I couch surfed, I met friends, I stayed with people, I busked, and I even fasted for the first time in my life. I remember I fasted, which, as you can see by my round face, I'd not done lots of that. But I remember it felt so good. Like, I just felt so light. And even though hunger burns a little bit, it's like, it usually passes within a few seconds. And then it's like, whoa, like as long as you're hydrating and like, connecting with yourself and like loving yourself through it, like there's such a power in doing that. But yeah, likewise, I've also been listening to and healing through the cringe around my music, re-uploading a lot of my older material onto my distributor, so it's going to be out on Spotify and all the platforms with the new name, the new branding, the new higher collective energy, which is exciting. Although there's still some kinks I'm working out with, like just making sure like data is transferred properly and stuff. And anyways, But yeah, now that I'm like on the other side of Mercury retrograde, we just came out of it a few days ago. We're still in the shadow, but like now we're moving forward. I'm reflecting on the fact that I'm like, okay, like that all happened with purpose. And I do feel like being able to love through the cringe of my past expressions is actually helping me to not take myself so seriously and get out of my own way. Because that's, I feel, a big part of being, you know, a channel, a leader, a creator, an artist, whatever it is that we want to do when we're really giving something that's from deep within and beyond ourselves. Like so often we have to get out of our own way. We have to let our ego take a back seat, you know, or maybe a side seat. Like it's an important part of it too. But it's so easy to let the fear stop or the cringe stop or the, you know, whatever it is, like stop us from fully shining our light and fully just being in the full gloriousness of who we truly are, including all the different variations and expressions and parts. And it's pretty freaking fascinating. But yeah, as you can tell, I'm walking through town, so there's a lot of noises. I hope it's still interesting for you. But yeah, what can I say? I guess this is still my life update. So yeah, so this morning I was journaling and I was kind of getting to I was wanting to describe the energy of the feeling of being in the core of creation, like the feeling of like infinite possibilities, pure potentiality. And there was this energy of just more and like, and mana really came to me, which is a Hawaiian word for life force energy. But it's just like, I wanted to describe this feeling that's like the opposite of scarcity and lack and emptiness, but like infinite fullness, where it's just like so fucking charged with energy that it's just like, you know, so much power. It's like we can do anything with it and a lot. Whereas I feel like very often, and I just want to also highlight and honor another teacher, because that's another thing I've been doing a lot the last few weeks is learning. One of my favorite things is just to relax, have a nice lunch or dinner or whatever, turn on YouTube and just explore, like pray for whatever's in my highest good to learn and then learn it and go deep. And money is just something that I've been really interested in because I love it and I love what an awesome enhancer it is to reality. And one of the teachers I found is Kate Northrup, who is amazing. And she, just getting distracted by humans and seeing other humans and feeling their consciousness for a second. But yeah, let me get back to Kate Northrup. So she had a video, an interview with somebody, I forget with who. I think maybe Kathy Weller, who's also like pure magic. Who is it? I don't know who it was. Either way, it could have been Emily Fletcher, another one who's also pure magic, goddess zone. Like, wow. I feel like there's so many amazing teachers that I'm just like, I can just turn on my TV and just like stream their consciousness for free. Well, I do have premium YouTube because I hate the ads, but like, you know what I mean? Isn't it an amazing time? Like all of this is just right there. We can literally find anything. Like we can just like learn anything about anything. And it's a really fascinating time to be alive. So yeah, so one of the things she talked about is she was teaching about money and the energy of money. And one of the things is like, it's really important about how you feel about it because then you're tuning into like the energetics of it. And apparently money at its core is an energy that's like, it's like deep down, like our ability to be wealthy, our ability to manifest more is like, how are we able to hold life force energy in our bodies and our consciousness and have the right beliefs and alignment to be able to be receptive and flowing, you know, even more. And I'm on the edge of learning all this stuff. I feel like I'm on a breakthrough point potentially. I mean, either way, I'm learning all this stuff. So my consciousness is definitely blossoming and breaking through around this. And energetically, I feel like I'm getting it more. But yeah, I mean, a core reason of why I really feel inspired to manifest more, unlock more, support others in manifesting and unlocking more is because we all deserve heaven on earth. And I feel like, you know, people often have, like, they paint money in this negative way because there have been so many crimes committed in the name of money, or, you know, like people limited, hurting each other believing the lies of scarcity to play out whatever game they want to play out in this reality, with money being the bad guy, or even religion, painting it as like, quote unquote, the root of all evil, which is really not true. There are good people, there are bad people. Or, people can choose to be good or they can choose to be bad. And those people, they can choose to be rich, they can choose to be poor. Like, there's so many ways that we can manifest in this reality, and I don't think it's fair to blame money. It's like saying that, like, sex is the root of all evil or something, or like, I don't know. It's just like a similar energy where it's one flavor of energy in this reality. It's one color in the, what's it called? Like, in the paint box, or those, like, when the artists have like the little thing and they have all the colors that they can paint from, whatever that is, not the easel, I don't know, the word will come if it's meant to come, but either way, it's just it's a flavor of creativity. And I was reflecting on that as I was looking in the mirror at my human body this morning. I was just like, interesting that I'm made of so many elements, or this body's made of so many elements, and there's so many weavings of different like textures and purposes, and they all work together. And likewise, money is a part of that, just like you could even look at like sexual energy is a part of that. And I really feel like there is a strong connection with that. And that's another thing that I remember learning from that Pate. She is well paid. Because she's teaching about it and of service in beautiful ways. But yeah, so she had said that, now I lost the point because I got all wordplay. So, consciousness, loop back in. This happens sometimes. Is it called a brain fart? I don't know. I get distracted when I'm in a channel-y state. I get distracted by, okay, it's coming back. Kate Northrup, something about Kate Northrup. Okay, here we go. So, the sacral chakra. She was talking about the chakra systems and just like which one is the most important around money, and that's the sacral chakra. And it's interesting because the sacral chakra, which is orange, which is our reproductive organs, our it's like right below our belly button, sexual energy, money, creativity. And it's an interesting thing to reflect on, because I do feel like I met a new friend who, sadly, recently kind of friend dumped me. It was really random. I hope there's a healing if ever, it's in our highest good, but just got to let people do their thing, because sometimes when they get triggered and they don't want to be vulnerable and work it out with you, it's like off with their head and whatever. But she had given me some really interesting perspectives on how she felt like at one point in her lifetime, because she's a really amazing businesswoman, great at making money, she said that at one point in her life she feels like she might be guided to do help people heal the connection between sexual trauma and their business. And likewise, that came through when she looked at my astrological chart and was kind of receiving inspiration around my purpose, which I'm open to. And honestly, I've been healing sexual trauma stuff for so much of my life, and I've also been like learning about business. I come from like an entrepreneurial background, and I am very interested in like where those two blend and helping people heal, because the truth is it's the same chakra. And so much of being a business person is also about like kind of like being an artist, putting ourselves out there, believing in ourselves, loving ourselves, being authentic and evolving. Because I do really love the perspective that a business can be a spiritual path. But yeah, anyways, so the sacral chakra, they're all connected. And this is why too I feel like it's just so important to follow what feels good and like what feels authentically healing and benevolent for ourselves. Because you never know, even though like for me, like there are times in my life when I'm like, my mind is like, I should focus on making money, I should try to do this, try to do that. But sometimes it's like the season of my life is actually suggesting like, no, actually, Cora, it's good for you to heal right now. Like sometimes just surrendering to the process, to the flow, will ultimately create better results. And it's like kind of like the difference between like thinking about having an orgasm, like I'm gonna have an orgasm, like with a partner. I know for me, I've had anxiety about this in the past of like when I'm pressuring myself and thinking about it and like it's gotta happen, I gotta make it happen, otherwise, you know, like it's a ridiculous mental quest, and it often has opposite effects. But as opposed to just being fully present and letting the energy guide the situation and just like not being pressury, just kind of like flowing with it, usually from that space when it's also in, you know, full trust and surrender and hopefully love and respect. That's a really better space for something greater to flow through, where it's, you know, even if you compare to an orgasm, it's like I know some of my best orgasms have been when I was surrendering to energy and myself and being less ego and more energy. And yeah, so maybe that's TMI, but it's so similar in so many areas of life, even music. You know, I feel like when I'm trying so hard to like for it to be good and thinking in my head about like, you know, I want to impress people, you know, more of an ego space, often then it's like meh, and then often I'm in the fear, so I'm also like oh no, they're not liking it, and like get in my head, and then like the magic is not there. But when you know, one of my favorite things to do when I'm performing live, and it's a beautiful teaching, is to actually just like close my eyes if I'm nervous and stuff and I'm just starting, close my eyes and feel into my soul what I would love to do, and start by doing it for me. Like start by really getting self-centered, because, you know, that's also for me soul-centered at first, because I'm so empathic and like focused, like I'm very aware of what's going on around me, but like because I feel it. But so cultivating the ability to just go within and feel it is really important and really helpful, because then usually then when I'm doing it for me and like giving myself the medicine through the music that I really want, that I really need, that feels really good to me, next thing you know, I can feel I'm generating an energy that then people are opening up to something greater, because usually I pray on it too. That then next thing you know, when I do open my eyes, or the song is over and I feel people connected to it, I feel people lingering in the energy, and then they applaud or whatever, that's usually the place that, okay, now the flow is going, like the tone has been set, the music's happening, and there we go. And usually it's then from that space that I can, if I ever need to reconnect, I just close my eyes, go within, you know, or feel the energy. And then it's from that space that when that current is so strong, my own self-love and self-connection and musical connection and medicine is so strong, that's when I can then open up my eyes more and like make eye contact and like really tune into the collective energy of all of us more as a team, as a family, and really feel into like, okay, I can feel this energy for that person, and spirit's wanting me to flow this kind of an energy through this song, and like it's just, it becomes something transcendent and totally more, and that's what I'm here for. Like I love when that happens, and yeah, it's just also an interesting journey to learn how to navigate and cultivate. So I'm almost at my destination that I chose to walk to in town here. So I feel like it's starting to come full circle, this random podcast of just me randomly flowing what's on my heart and coming up for me. What can I say? Yeah, life is beautiful. I mean, to give you more of a life update as well, I have my new album pretty much 80 to 90% done. Right now it's in the hands of a producer, and I'm also, interestingly enough, like we've been doing a trade for promotion for music. So side note, if you're interested in musical promotion or developing yourself as an artist or songwriting, I do have offerings. I have a songwriting course. I have packages that I'm developing around promotion in case that's of interest, combining not only the inner work of, you know, preparing ourselves, believing in ourselves, energetically aligning with more success and more recognition, because often I'm learning now from even working with this one amazing person to begin with, I'm like, wow, like the inner work is so fucking important, because otherwise there's, quote unquote, I'm not ready blocks, or like, I'm not this, or this isn't all these blocks come up around like, well, why don't we just send it out to radio, and like, why don't we just put it out to music blogs, and why don't we just, because like it's amazing, and I can relate, because I often, when I'm doing my own promotion, I am so in my own way. I'm like a cat that doesn't want to be picked up, like, but in all my blocks. But I'm learning, like, okay, yeah, I have to just love through the cringe, heal my beliefs, my nervous system, get to a space where I'm like, you know what, this isn't about me, and let's like do our best and like show up and like really pray for the best and to be of service to the highest good of all, for the most benevolent outcome and blissful heaven on earth experiences for everyone. But yeah, that it's like that internal work is like so fucking important to then eventually be able to just get out of my way and let something greater flow through. And then from that place of flow and alignment and like real energetic connection to source and to the currents of like possibility and play and purpose and passion and doing it, and that's from that space where promotion, the energy of like promotion, is moving something forward. And really, when it comes to getting ourselves out there, and from a musical perspective, it's like, yeah, pitching it to radios, pitching it to different people, like being open to networking and really like just giving it a full power burst in every direction. It's, yeah, the inner work is super important. And then too, like for a lot of people, when they do get a bit of a like step up, and then it's like, holy shit, what is it like to be booked at a festival? Like, holy shit, what is it like to have like 100,000 followers on TikTok, whatever, like. And it's just often, new level, new devil, new fears can come up, new stuff to heal. But it's like, it's all figure outable, it's all healable, it's all lovable, it's all worthy. And, the support is here. So I'm really excited to be stepping into that realm of my work and my purpose. I do feel like it's going to be combining with my previous coaching package, which is called Divine Artist Embodiment. It's really all the inner work. And I feel though, like now, like I'm bringing in this element of like the external factors of becoming a star and, sharing our music with the world, or our gifts, whatever it may be. Because I feel like I'm here to work with healers, teachers, creatives, and but obviously musical artists have an extra special place in my heart because I have a lot of experience in that, and it's just a big part of my purpose. But I'm very open, because I feel like being a divine artist is about more than just like paint on a canvas or music into the field. It's also about embracing that God within us, that divine artist, you know what I'm saying? Like getting to that space of divine connection, divine perspective, and divine creativity where it's healing, and this is like kind of, I think, why I'm so vibed up by connecting with Amanda Francis's work today, is because she's got it. Like I can feel it that she is someone who feels God, knows God, has a real deep connected personal relationship. And every time I interact with her work or her creativity or her amazing manifestations, I mean, this woman is a multi-millionaire, and she's doing it with like heart and like goodness and like just like, and also just like a degree of selfishness, or like not greed, but like kind of like the energy of just like a big redwood that's like, yeah, like it's raining, just sucking it all in and just being like, yeah, and then knowing it's not taking it away from other people, but it's just like receiving, and truthfully that is from a space of like opening up to infinite creativity. And that's what I feel like she's doing, because I watch her manifestations and I'm like, wow, she's got this huge beautiful home, all these nice furry pillows and crystals and candles and healthy food and nice water, and she's like living it up in LA, and I'm just like, this is so cool, whereas I feel like so many of us, we just think like we're not supposed to ask for more, especially as spiritual people or women. I don't know what the story is, but I'll just speak for myself. I feel like I've almost felt like guilty, like, oh, should I want this? Like, what if someone else wants it? Or like, what if people will judge me or get jealous because I have this or whatever? But it's like, that's the inner work to break through it, because deep down, even though this life is like a bit of a matrix creation type thing, and there are like rules and like interesting orchestrations to everything, coagulations, if you will, the truth is it's all God, it's all energy, it's all potentially a metamorphosis. And I do feel like I'm in metamorphosis, and my life, when I'm changing, my whole life around me is changing. And it's beautiful and it's powerful. And this is what I'm so excited about, is stepping into this place where it's creative play, where it's art, where it's not just like living in a prison of our own creation, but actually like living in a palace, a playground, and remembering what that is, feeling it, living it out fully as an example, as a leader ourselves. I can only speak for me, I can only change me, and inspiring others to do that. Because like, how cool would that be if like more people, especially even people in like third world countries who grew up in like extreme poverty, like how cool would it be if like someone like that found a video on YouTube and they were like, what? And then like suddenly could just like step into their, more of their power and choice around their situation. And it's just an example. Obviously there's a lot of different coordinates that would have to adjust for, people that might bring up a lot of resistance in people, fair, I understand, and like honor like the privilege and like, all that is like a factor in this reality. But at the same time, I'll just speak for myself. Like, my soul came in here in this lifetime with these coordinates, with purpose. And yes, I have privilege. I also have challenges. We all have challenges and blessings, whatever word you want to use. I mean, we all have power. We all have free will. We all are God, no matter where we come from. And there's people who have come from, nothing, who've risen to like huge possibilities in their life. And it really excites me. And again, other people are not my job, but I can totally take the reins on the power in my life. And that's what I'm doing my best to do, even though it's hard sometimes. But like, stepping up to do stuff like this and just letting the energy flow is really helpful. And honestly, every morning, that's my prayer, is like, God, Goddess, Great Love, please flow to through this for me for the highest good of all. And then I usually add other, intentions and stuff and blessings, but like, that's it. And so I'm just here to be a flower, a flower, a flow of love and divinity, and like from the core of who I am and the core of what all this is, really being that energy of benevolence to help create more heaven on earth. And it really is an internal game first. So yeah, if you're interested, feel free to go to my website, coraflora.com, or check it out on Spotify. Look up some of my music if you want. I referenced flourish a lot, or flower a lot, so I will leave a clip of that song, perhaps right here. So you can go listen to that on your own time if you so wish, my dear ally. And thank you for listening. This was a lot of fun. I feel super vibed up. I'm excited to listen to this and edit it and post it. And I love you guys so much. Feel free to reach out if you'd like to work together, if you feel divinely inspired and aligned. I am here to be of service, and even if I'm nervous, just here to love and be and shine. And I'm here for all of our victory. So let's do this. Welcome.